On DC Music Rocks, we're shining a spotlight on the great songs, artists, and incredible people behind the DC region's music scene. Black Dog Prowl is considered one of Washington, D.C.'s hardest-hitting rock bands. The four-piece showcases original material ranging from slow, down-tuned movements to a fast-paced kick in the teeth. If one insists on drawing a line to the familiar, BDP has a sonic comparison to the likes of Soundgarden, Torch, Nirvana, or the other ones that you mentioned earlier, Alice in Chains, and some other ones. It's that good hard rock grungy feel, as you just heard in that track. It's so good. Guys, thanks so much for being here. It is really cool.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for everything you do for the scene, by the way.
You're welcome, man. And thanks. Yeah. Appreciate that. So, hold on. Now, back to you, though. So, now, one more time, introduce them, if they don't know you guys. Say the name of the instrument you play so that they get to know the band.
I'm Josh. I play guitar and sing.
Pablo, guitar and backing vocals. Seth, I play bass and scream.
Enzo, drums.
He's also our S filter, so...
I play bass and scream. Oh, God. Seth, I love you, man. That
you do the dancing and headbanging as well.
Yeah, that's true. I am the dance coordinator as well.
Yes, if you ever watch, watching Black Dog Prowl is a lot of fun. You might see it at 9:30, but watching Seth in particular sometimes is hilarious because out of nowhere there's faces that he's making, there's different things, and then you got Enzo on the drums who looks, I don't know how to describe it other than like he's all in. There are zero things not moving when Enzo is playing drums. He's crazy. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever compared it to the animal on Sesame Street, but that's one comparison that comes to mind. I don't know. But so, and then you got Josh killing it with the vocals and Pablo's killing it with guitar. Like the whole, God, clearly I'm having my fanboy moment that I was talking about. It's going to happen. But anyway, so thanks for being here, guys.
No,
now, tell the story behind the name. Even if it's uneventful, you still have to say what is it? How did it arrive at this?
This will be nice because as the newest member, I don't know what what's behind
the oldest member. I'm not really sure how.
Oh, I remember.
You remember?
Tell us.
We were sick and tired of having it being Josh's band.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
okay.
no. But the previous name of the band was Finver 4, which is Josh's last name, Josh Finver, as you may have noticed. So. That's where it started, and it got to a point like we can't go out there calling ourselves Finver 4, and Josh didn't like it either. For him, it was a joke at the beginning, and then it just stuck. But
got real serious.
Yeah, it got a little serious. He was just like, yeah, I'm completely okay changing that, and it kind of went the way a bit of like the band Stone Temple Pilots, where everybody was just throwing names out. It's like, what do you think about this? How about that? And how about what was that one of them? Dog Sleeping Lie, or it was awful. And
nice.
And then a good friend of ours, Mike, he also played in the band for a bit, and he said, "Well, how about Black Dog Prowl?" And it was like, "Sure, yeah, perfect, okay, good."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it was just one of the many names that got tossed out, and then it was like that one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Exactly.
It's the cream
like
that
spaghetti on the
top.
wall.
Yeah.
That's right.
Spaghetti on the wall and cream that rose to the top. God, it's just yes, I love it.
Name.
And now, what part of the DC region are you guys all connected to?
All over. I live in Silver Spring.
Yeah.
Currently.
You're waiting.
Anyway. Then these two, you just moved out of DC. Seth just moved out of DC.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one still inside
in DC proper, yeah.
Yeah. What part of DC are you in, Pablo?
Right now,
Give me your
8th Street.
8th Street. 8th Street. Got it. 8th Street.
Sunflowers, too.
And Seth, you just moved out? Where did you move to?
I'm up in College Park, Maryland now, but had lived in Northeast DC for the longest time, so I'm most familiar with the 8th Street corridor, which I know and love.
Got it. Look at you. Headed out. I love it. Now, okay, so let's run down the line here, and I want questions for I want to hear from everybody on these. So first, tell us about your earliest memory with music, each of you. Run it down.
You go ahead.
No, that's
Start on the end. Enzo.
Earliest memory with music. It just basically being in the back of the car with my parents, and there'll be. I remember my dad used to make mixtapes.
Nice.
And so he had a variety of music. So, yeah, I got it all pretty much. That's when it started. But I do remember like having a big thing about Michael Jackson's Thriller. And it was that
Awesome.
it was that one thing that I had on constant loop, and my mom was a little bit. It's like, all right, enough of this. But that was before things got creepy.
Nice.
But, yes.
I mean, obviously, in the glory days.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh?
Well, similar. I mean, I think I inherited my taste a little bit from my parents. They were big Beatles and Doors fans. Well, my dad was a big Doors fan. My mom not so much. But I would steal their tapes and run around playing them on my Fisher-Price microphone, or like that little microphone cassette player thing, to the point where I think I accidentally recorded over some of my dad's Kinks tapes.
Nice.
He was playing them at a gathering of him and his friends, and be playing, the song, and like Sunny Afternoon or whatever, and halfway through the song it would cut out and it would just be me screaming into a microphone.
So you've been screaming into microphones for a long time.
For a good amount of time, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Seth, what about you, man?
This'll be a shock to some. My dulcet, sultry voice comes from singing in church choirs.
Stop it. You were a
Yes.
choir boy?
I was a choir boy from a very, very
Seth,
young age.
I love it.
I was a Baptist choir boy, so it was more like, it's closer to like country music than, Catholic hymns or whatnot. But yes, from a very, very young age, grew
I
up
thought it was
singing.
the ballerina thing, like in Winger.
No, that was in college.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And a ballerina. Sounds like we need to go to happy hour with Seth later. That's what this sounds like. Oh my God, this is good. And Pablo, what about you, man? Earliest memory with music?
Similar to Josh's and Enzo's, my dad is a huge prog rock fan, so I grew up like, my dad used to say that he used to like rock me to sleep with Jethro Tull albums, and so I always, there was always prog rock music playing in my house, and then I discovered MTV Latino back in like 94 or 95, and I just had it on in my house all day long, and that's how I discovered like rock music and metal music and Metallica, and after that it all. Yeah.
Wow. Nice. I like it, guys. And now talk about on the personal side now. So outside of music, what else do you guys do? Run down the line again. And so start with you, buddy.
On the side, I mostly just I like to do some of the artwork things for the Instagram account for the band.
Artwork things for the Instagram.
Yes.
Does that mean like
I like
graphic
to-
design kind of
I
stuff?
like to experiment on that a little bit and test the waters. That's right.
And are you doing that on your phone, or is that on the computer? Are you a Photoshop nerd? Or what is
Yeah, I use the computer. Yeah.
it? Okay.
And some Photoshop and some design stuff. So it's quite fun, and then sometimes it goes pretty flat, and some other times like, yay, everybody likes it. So
Yeah. And what happens if it goes flat? Do you guys actually like call him out on it? Like, dude, that was awful? Or are
we
you
wouldn't
all
dare.
just supportive and just let it ride? How do you know it goes flat? That's, I guess, what I'm wondering. Because they're all nice to you.
He pulls it right out of our brains. We're like, we're all in sync here. So everything that he does, we've all already approved. So
And we'll leave it at that.
it's a de
like
facto approval.
Oh God, that's really
Yeah.
funny. Oh man.
In-house
All right,
graphic design.
Josh. What about you? Outside of music.
I like to eat and cook and eat and watch sports and eat and
Yeah.
hang out with my fiance Masha. Hi Masha, and
Nice.
and our cat Harper.
Harper.
That's eating, fiance, cats,
Eating.
sleeping,
Eating.
more eating, and then cooking, and then eating some more. I like your life, Josh.
Yeah,
This is
it's
great,
great.
man. I
Living the
dig
dream.
it. Seth, what about you, man?
I'm not sure I understand the question. What do you mean outside of music?
There has to be something outside of music.
About there is very little, but about once a year I like to go on a road trip somewhere. I like to drive around the country. I've done Route 1 top to bottom from
way.
Maine to
All
Florida.
Nice.
I'm gonna try to do Texas and back. Just kind of meandering down, hitting music stores and such on the way down. Back to music. There you go.
Nice.
But yeah, that's my one thing outside of music. That's my one distraction. It's road
Nice.
trips.
Maybe a road trip every once in a while. I like that, man. All right, Pablo, what about you, man?
Same as Seth. I don't think there's that much outside of music because most of my free time goes to either like consuming music or like playing music or like checking out like record stores or walking around. But other than that, I don't know. I guess the usual eating, reading, and just like hanging out.
I love that you think eating, reading, and hanging out are usual. I feel like in this town,
Is it not?
that's actually not necessarily the case. Usual is a very relative term. So reading is like a unique thing for some people. Some people don't read. So, all right, man. Eating, reading. I love it. Very good. Now, my favorite question to ask on the show, and I want to toss it in right now, and this is, if you could offer one piece of advice, what would it be? And Pablo, let's start with you and run down the other way. So.
This question didn't go so well the last time I was here. So I'm gonna pass.
Hold on. I want to recognize Pablo for a second, because he is the first. This is the first time we've ever had anyone a repeat guest on the show. So I want to highlight that, because I'm a huge Black Dog Prowl fan, and we had Pablo on a while back to talk about Black Dog and his guitaring and stuff. And now we've got the whole band. So I'm honored that all you guys came down to do this again. And Pablo, welcome back, man. That's kind of cool.
Thank you. That's
So-
such an honor to be the first repeat guest.
And that was about a 30-second opportunity for you to think about your answer, so that now you can tell us. You could offer one piece of advice. What would it be?
No, I'm gonna pass on this
You
one.
can't pass. That's not how this works.
Well, then
Is
we're
it
gonna
just
come back to you.
general-
We're gonna come back to you. Seth, you're next.
Just
man.
general, like,
If you're
life
listening,
advice?
remember Pablo has to answer the question. So just remember that. All right, Seth, go ahead.
You know what? It's kind of pertaining to music, but it pertains to just life. Get yourself a good career, something you enjoy. I feel it ties back to music, because I've done a good job of keeping up a good, profitable career, which allows me to do a lot more music that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise. But it keeps me focused and driven, and fills a lot of voids in life that would be there otherwise.
And now you're saying get a good career, so a good paying career is something that you could that allows you to do music also.
It feels strange to say that in DC, because DC is such a career-driven state, right?
Yeah.
But I feel,
State, huh?
yeah, I feel eventually
Went there.
hopefully someday.
Hopefully someday it's a state.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I feel like talking with younger folks in particular, some people that I've worked with, or not worked with because I didn't have jobs, there seems to be more of a, well, just follow your muse, drive around, do what you can to avoid having a job. But it sounds so corporate and sounds so lame and adult-like, but following that path has gotten me to where I am today, whether it's in music or otherwise.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
See, that's way deeper than anything I could have said.
Mm.
Bravo.
Pablo's still dwelling over here. All right, stay tuned. It's coming. Josh, what you got, man?
Oh, man. I don't have any wisdom. Don't worry about what people think or say about you. Just kind of do what makes you happy, regardless of whether that's in your career or music or any of that stuff. Or, also don't fall in love with DC sports teams other than the Capitals. And always wear clean underwear. That's also.
Yeah, see, and now Pablo's afraid to answer, and now we got Josh, who's an overachiever.
I got
That was
more if you
three.
want, yeah.
Holy smokes! And now hold on, back to the first one though. Where does that come from for you? Does that come from a personal place for you, or what?
Probably. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing music since, been playing in bands since middle school, and have wanted nothing more than to play music as a career. But as I've sort of aged and seen that not necessarily jump out as my, sole source of income, sticking to playing music and making that a part of my life is extremely important. So.
Excellent.
What do you mean, sort of age?
Hold on.
Okay.
Time out. Enzo, tell us, man.
One that I've been practicing a lot is stop, put on your favorite record, sit down, and enjoy it.
Nice. Which one did you put on most recently?
You can follow me on IG. the _N zoo, and then you'll be able to see what I've been spinning lately. And the very last, what did I spin? Oh yeah, it was Wham! I've been listening to a lot of George Michael lately.
Nice.
So, and yes, always listening to something that I wouldn't usually listen to, but I love George Michael, so yeah.
That's cool, man. All right, Pablo, you have 30 seconds. Tell us.
Don't follow other people's advice and just stick to your own beliefs, I guess. And
Prepare
Steal
for
my
interview
answer,
questions.
yeah, it's just a repurposed packaging, an alternate packaging to what Josh already said, because I'm really not good at giving advice.
Oh, I love it.
Good job.
Pablo's I do want to point out that Pablo's a pretty incredible guy. So I appreciate him regardless of whether he's giving advice on the radio or not, for sure. And now one more time for those folks who want to find out more about Black Dog Prowl and the cool things you guys are doing, where do they go?
Go to blackdogprowl.com. Find us on Instagram, as Enzo was blogging, at Black Dog Prowl. All the things are at Black Dog Prowl or /Black Dog Prowl or Google Black Dog Prowl. We're there. We're around.
All that stuff.